Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Paul. You guys probably know me here on YouTube as Optobotomist. This is my second channel. I had this channel a while ago, and I want to try and get it going again and get more content on it as just a way to kind of sit here and have a conversation with you guys about different things that um, is going on in the community and things of that nature. And the first one, I'm calling it Discussion Day. And it's me just sitting here kind of giving my thoughts on things. And I want your guys' participation as well. So the comment section is going to be very vital for you guys. I really want you guys to utilize it. Listen to what I have to say. Give me your thoughts on things. And hopefully this turns out to be enjoyable. I'm not putting this on my main channel. Mostly because I don't think that too many people are going to care about listening to my thoughts. This is for more, I guess, like hardcore viewers of mine, I suppose. I do have a big thing of water that you'll have to excuse me. I'm on these new pills for medication purposes that really dehydrates me. It makes me go to the bathroom a lot more and it turn dehydrated. You guys don't care about that. The first discussion day that I wanted to kind of bring up, there's a couple really good topics that some people on my Facebook page and Twitter have mentioned. And this one, it was mentioned a little bit, but not a lot of people really pulled on this, but I'm going to do it anyhow. There's a couple other ones that I really want to get into. And that's also why I'm looking to you guys. Let me know down in the description what other topics you guys would like to hear my thoughts on and what you'd like to discuss. The first one, though, is I'm just going to call it entitlement. We have, as toy collectors, it seems to be growing more and more a sense of entitlement with things. And I'm specifically talking about how a lot of people are perceiving like repaints and retools. Combiner Wars is a very big example of that right now. There's a lot of repaints and there's a lot of retools that people are looking at and getting very annoyed with. And when I say entitlement, it's like I see people saying, well, this is what I want. I mean, G1 Toys, we never got this many repaints and retools before. This is what I want. I want this. I want this. I want this. And to me, like I said, that's a sense of entitlement. Why do you think that Hasbro owes us anything? First and foremost, Hasbro is a toy company. This has been talked about many times in the community, and us as adult collectors make up a very small percentage of their profit margin. A lot of the stuff that we do end up buying, as collectors, are probably higher end, more expensive pieces. A lot of Takara stuff comes to mind, where you repaint things and you pay a higher premium for things because they're putting a little bit more effort into it. They're giving us collectors better paint jobs. In the case of the Combiner Wars Devastator that's coming out from Takara, we're getting a figure with more articulation. That's something that's a little bit different, but it's a very small market that we make up. In order to and this kind of, I mean, Combiner Wars is a big one, but recently revealed was that Hasbro wants to do one Titan class figure per year. And they had a fan vote about which one we would want. It was between Trypticon, Scorponok, and Omega Supreme. I personally voted for Omega Supreme. I would love an updated version of Omega Supreme. And I mean, Scorponok is one that I think a lot of people would like. Trypticon ended up winning, and it makes sense because we already have Metroplex. Now, Trypticon obviously is going to be a completely new mold. You really can't remold anything into that. But I started seeing a lot of people really complaining about Metroplex and how he is being remolded heavily, from what I understand, a heavy retool and repainted into Fortress Maximus. And we're getting that in 2015. Scorponok's coming out, or 2016. We're getting Scorponok or Triptychon at the end of 2017, I think they said, which makes sense because it takes roughly about 2 years or so to develop a toy. That's just kind of standard, I suppose. Um, but as I'm thinking about it, a lot of people are really upset because we're getting a repaint and a slight retool of Metroplex as Fort Max, and it's like, to me, that it doesn't bother me really all that much. I understand, maybe, and this is my thought process, that I understand that something like a retool and a repaint is going to be much cheaper to do for Hasbro than doing a full-on figure. So it's like this retool and repaint that we're getting of Fort Max is what is really helping to pay for that completely new Triptychon figure. That's how I look at a lot of these figures. It's like, why did we not get brand new figures for some of the Combiner War figures and such? And I mean, we did, but a lot of them were repaints. I mean, you look at like Alpha Bravo, for example, that has had three different things. You had you have Alpha Bravo, you have Blades, and you have Vortex, and they were not changed at all. I mean, well, I mean, Blades had a different head. So I mean, I really do. I'm curious to see what you guys think about all this. Like I said, I don't. It doesn't bother me all that much. I look at it as we make up a very small demographic. Um, we could have a whole nother discussion, I guess, on what collectors are willing to pay for things. But ultimately, they're repainting these figures and repurposing them for a number of different reasons. Prices are higher. That's well documented. Um, but it's something that I don't think is necessarily a bad thing from a business perspective. Uh, you saw it a lot in in Hasbro throughout the years. It's not something that's a new concept that people seem to. I mean, it might be getting done more, but honestly, I mean, I don't even. You look back to G1 and it's like all of the G1 toys, like 80% of them were repurposed in some way, shape, or form, or either remold or repaint into a different character. So, I mean, it's not like, when we got the movie, the original animated movie, we got a lot more new stuff. Um, I mean, that was just kind of what they were intending the movie to do anyhow, just to have new toys. But I mean, even still, I mean, you look at some of the original G1 toys, and the G1 toys were themselves repaints of a previous line that Hasbro didn't even own. So it's like it's existed for a long time. It's not a new thing. So I don't see where people's argument is that or where they're getting the gumption to complain so much about this stuff. It's and for the love of God, I mean, we're adults. We're complaining about toys. I mean, now granted, if we were paying a lot of money for these things, I would understand that a little bit more. But it's and us as collectors, we don't have a problem paying for repaints if they're repaints, as in the fact that the characters themselves on the cartoon were repaints, like Skywarp and Thundercracker. People don't have a problem buying repaints of Starscream if they're done as Thundercracker and Skywarp. Um, or you look at some of the masterpiece cars. You got Ironhide being repainted into Ratchet. What we got? We got First, or not First Aid, Red Alert repainted. So it's like we don't mind it so much when they're actually supposed to be like that. I think it seems more where people are upset when you're repainting a figure, like for example, uh, Blast Off. Let's use Blast Off as an example. While I don't mind him being a jet, I think it makes more sense than a space shuttle. Granted, NASA is under military control or was whatever. I don't know. Why didn't you just give us a space shuttle, or or why didn't you give us a new figure for that, or why are we getting a Hound that's being repainted out of Swindle? Why don't we just get a brand new Hound figure? So I mean, I understand people's complaint in that regard. um, I guess I just don't mind it all that much. It's one of those, and as a reviewer, I try to look at things in the proper context. Um, I've seen, several reviewers that will complain about something because it's a repaint or something, or oh, it's just the same thing, just a different color, or whatever. And I don't see that as being a viable reason to knock something, because I look at it as that these are being made for kids, and I think ultimately, Hasbro is going to make figures that they can repurpose multiple times uh, to maximize. Oh, that's my Simpsons thing. To maximize their profits. So I guess I look at it that from that respect, and um, I just feel that the community in general has become a lot more of this. They've gotten this a lot more me, 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 me. I want, I want, I want, I want, I want. This sense of entitlement, sort of. I don't know. It's very disappointing to see a bunch of grown adults complaining so much about toys, and getting into, I mean, heated arguments over this. I mean, you can have a discussion. That's perfectly fine. You can have a discussion if you respect other people's beliefs, their opinions, and things like that. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it. But if you approach it from the uh, from the perspective that this person may have a different opinion than me, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're willing to listen and at least say, you know what, you have a different opinion than me, I respect that, I disagree with you, but we can still talk about it. And it's weird. It's a big reason why people can't talk about like religion and politics, because what they think is right, and nobody else can have an opinion, and nobody else is allowed to think anything else. And if you think anything else, then you're wrong. It's not about being right or wrong. It's just having a discussion, an open dialect for it. And that's what I'm kind of hoping that this video series will do. Look at that. That was a segue. That's what we call that. But let me know what you guys think. I'm curious to get your feedback. And like I said, have a discussion on this. People have different points of view. People have different thoughts on the matter. And I'm curious to hear what your guys' is. So please let me know in the comment section below what you think. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. It's not something, like I said, that I'm going to be pimping out on my main channel. It's just I'm keeping this kind of a small group for now, I suppose. But let me know what you guys think. Also, please let me know what other topics you may want to have a conversation about. The ones that I had thought about before are, number one is third parties, third party figures. That's a very hotly discussed excuse me, please. Hotly discussed subject. So I want to talk on the third party topic. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, and it's kind of interesting because the movie's coming out. We got Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and there are still people that want to. Star Wars is better than Star Trek, and they go back and forth. So I thought, as a geeky kind of thing, let's discuss Star Trek and Star Wars. So those are a couple of my ideas. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna try to keep these fairly small. Like 15 minutes is a good time, I think. But that's about it. So let's get talking. And until next time, guys, this has been Paul. I'll talk to you later.